a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary.
Homeboy tripping, he ain't know I got a gun. When it come to pop, man, we do shit for fun. You ain't got one, brother, you better run. Now I'm in the back getting head from my huns. While she going down, I break it off what I done. Smoking on my blunt, saying she ain't having fun. Bitch, give it back then, you don't need none. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
What is up, everybody? It's the boys from Illinois, the Pubtime podcast.
I'm muted. Pubtime Nation. How
You
are you?
muted yourself.
I did. Well, I muted myself so I wouldn't interrupt the wonderful, well-designed intro.
It's got a whole lot cooler in here.
I'm freezing. It is frigid, downright frigid. The coolest man, full of the hottest takes, Matty Ice. But it's Friday night.
You keep talking all that shit. He's gonna need a bigger hat.
I know, man. That head's gonna get huge. That's okay though. He earns most of it. The rest, we'll let him. The hot ice. That's the best. I mean, I tell you what, that movie is it's childish for sure, but there's a lot of really good one-liners in there, and it's just a feel-good movie. I mean, and it's one of those movies that we all dreamt of being Henry Rowan Gardner, right? Like ending up pitching for the Chicago Cubs, and it was probably
I'd rather
realistic.
be the chubby closer with the chew in his mouth, blackout.
It was probably half-ass realistic back in that time when the Cubs were so terrible. Like you could have believed that they would have had like a 12-year-old pitching for them. They may have been better off in some cases. I don't think that's an unrealistic thought.
Steve Traxel wasn't that goddamn bad. What are you talking about?
You're probably right, I guess, but
Maury Telemaco, maybe.
Jim Riggleman definitely wasn't the man for the job.
He was bad.
Well, you sent me that picture the other night of you playing a little old school baseball game with Glenn Allen Hill
in
the batter's box.
Yeah, I was in the batter's box before I started playing that game. That's what got me in there.
Glenn Allen Hill, like if they made a statue of the steroid era, he might be it.
He wasn't great, though, so I'm obviously all for not.
Well, imagine how bad he would have been if it wasn't for the juice.
I don't know, man. It's still pretty hard to hit a fucking fastball. I don't see Ronnie Coleman banging out fucking 50 home runs.
That's a fair point. And that's what I think about the steroid era is that, yes, it definitely enhanced their performance. But it still takes a lot of talent to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and to hit it that well. The difference is steroids made is they turned a deep fly ball into a home run, right? In a lot of cases, that was the difference, which maybe is significant, but they were also hitting these balls off of pitchers who were also taking steroids. So the playing field, although that the media doesn't want to tell you this, was pretty level and equal at the time for the most part, at least in my opinion. What do you think?
I don't know. Fuck it. To be honest, let them all take it. I don't care.
Well,
you're not hurting anybody but yourself. So
baseball's probably the only sport where people were gonna like throw a fit about it because they have this
people in the NFL Hall of Fame that took steroids.
Right. Baseball has this attachment to the records and the legacy and these legends, and they have the belief that those guys did it untainted, if you will, which isn't true. Those guys were taking greenies. I mean, they were playing on speed, basically.
Babe Ruth never
day.
hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball neither. So
no, he did not. But Babe Ruth also wouldn't leg out a double today, like some of these guys can. I mean, but you could say that about any sport, right? I mean, go back. Would Bart Starr start for any NFL team right now if you could take a time machine and move him from the
probably in Indianapolis?
fair point, but it's my point is though that the game is different. Athletes are more talented. They're bigger, faster, stronger, and it's all relative, I guess. And so, if like I said, if you could take some of these old timers, teleport them to modern day times, I don't think they would have the success. And I think that if you could transport if you could take Mike Trout and send him back to the 50s, I mean, he would just blow everybody away. It'd be insane. He'd be the greatest anyone's ever seen. He's borderline the greatest anyone's ever seen right now.
Yeah, he just stuck with a really shitty team.
Sure, which
Poor choice.
is
Barry
it's
Sanders syndrome.
It's debatable because I half-ass respect that because he wasn't. I mean, he could have made a lot more money to go somewhere else.
I don't know about that. He got paid pretty well.
I'm not okay. I get that. Sure, like we would take his salary, yes, but if he would have gone to Yankees, Red Sox, like any of these, and LA is a big market, but he's playing for the second franchise in a big market. If he would have gone to a premier prestigious franchise, you talk about not just a salary, but all the endorsement deals, and I'm sure a lot of those contracts are stacked up with postseason incentives that would have led to more and more compensation. So he certainly would have done himself a favor to go play financially to go play for someone else, and he would have done his legacy a favor to go play for someone else. But I've heard he is kind of one of the most unsuspecting people. Like there was he was at like I don't know if it was the Rams because they've only been there for a couple of years. Maybe it was the Rams or something, but he was at a pro football game. Hell, it might have been a USC game. I don't know. But anyways, like they showed him on camera and like, no, it's like you wouldn't even have known it was him. Like if Mike Trout walked past me on the street tomorrow, I wouldn't know it was Mike Trout. No fucking idea.
The Angels were much better when Tony Danza was in the outfield. I don't care.
They were, yeah. Angels in the outfield. You know, that was a fucking absolute banger of a movie. And then you add so that and then Little Big League with the kid that managed the Twins. I mean, how many baseball teams have movies been made about? So you had Angels in the Outfield about the Angels. You could say Moneyball was made about the A's. Obviously, there have been a few movies about the Cubs. Rookie of the Year being the most specific. I mean, that might be the only one. Fuck, I don't know. There have been the Babe. There's one about the Yankees. And what's the one with Randy Quaid when he comes up, pitches the rookie? Doesn't he go to like
Texas, some Texas team, I think.
Yeah, well, they play in Texas, is where he meets up with the ball club.
Maybe it's the Tigers.
For some reason, I want to say it was the
Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks, yeah. But that movie wasn't so much about the Diamondbacks, I guess. But you think in we had what? You know, we talked about this.
Who does Roy Hobbs play for?
The
Natural.
What the fuck's the name of the team? They're like the fucking Wizards or some goofy shit. It's in New York, I'm pretty sure. But I think it's a play on the Yankees. Right. I tell you what, I don't know if I've ever seen that movie. Maybe I have seen it like one time front to back. But I just don't get The Natural doesn't do anything for me.
It's a good ass movie. You've never watched it, obviously.
Well, I know that like he gets shot and then makes a comeback and doesn't that
it's the fucking tree. It's the tree, bud.
Oh, that's where the bat comes from, sure.
Yeah, that's where all the magic is. And then at the end he makes a clutch hit without that bat. The bat breaks. Lightning strikes, bat breaks. He's got to use a bat out of the dugout.
So he shows it was never the bat, right?
Yeah.
So Matty Ice and I, speaking of him, talked about this a little bit briefly this week, and that's cabin fever. We're getting to the end of January. We're knocking on February's door. It's the coldest time of year. It's kind of the worst of the weather we're going to see all year long. There's no holidays to look forward to.
My fucking ass has been getting outside plenty. Okay. I'd just like to get outside somewhere else.
Well, more so than
I'd like to be.
More so than physically getting your body outside for like work. do you find, I mean, especially now that we're not coaching wrestling, I mean, usually we were plenty busy this time of year, right?
I get
But
fucking depressed as shit, man.
and
My alcohol consumption goes through the roof this time of year.
so is there anything that you do to try to combat the, I guess, the blues that come along with this time of year? Other than drink heavily?
Been going to the gym, shit. I really, what else do you do? It's fucking 5 degrees outside.
I think that for me, especially now that we're not coaching anymore and um, have fewer, life just takes up a lot of our time, right? Beyond,
What's the update, Richard? Give us that score.
oh, it's probably not good.
I don't know. He said Warner shit the bed, but that's no surprise.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Well, he lost to Max Dean's a stud, and he got beat by him last year in the championship. So, I mean, even Cass isn't a gimme. Kirk Levitt, I might give him everything he wants and more, but at heavyweight. Anyways, I think that what I do to combat kind of these ruts, and these ruts aren't unique to this time of year for me necessarily, but I'm a big person. Like I need shit to look forward to, right? Like I need like milestones set out in front of me to look forward to, like um, a a big weekend, a game that I'm going to go to, a game to watch, a vacation, a weekend away, whatever. Like I need like shit to look forward to. And as long as I'm able to stack some of that shit up, I'm okay. Where I get in trouble is when there's not a lot of that stuff going on and trying to, and not that life in itself isn't fulfilling enough, because it is, but like trying to find things to engage my mind, if you will.
Yeah, I've been trying to engage my mind quite a bit lately, actually. That
And
works
and
pretty
how
good.
how have you been going about it? Hey Rick, who won besides Spencer and I know Spencer, Murin, and Real Woods won. Who else won? Because it was 11, so someone else won a match
Probably
in
Kennedy.
there. If he won that match, that's a good win for him because that dude outranked him. But I did see that the last time they wrestled was at the Flow, who's number one, and Kennedy beat him.
Yeah, you weren't. I was there. I
You
watched
were
it
there.
in Iowa City.
But I assume that the Penn State factor would have adjusted that outcome by now. So I'm curious. So if you know who won the other one, because Brands wrestled, um, fuck, Starachi, Assad wrestled Brooks,
Yeah,
Warner
there's no
wrestled
wins there.
Dean, and then Cassiope wrestled Kirk Levitt. So no, yeah, none of those were
Might have
wins.
been
It had to
Kennedy.
have been Kennedy because I'm pretty sure that Seabrick lost at 57. Brands lost. Yeah, I figured. Well, Starachi's a stud.
No,
Uh,
one thing I am looking forward to is going to Chicago and check out that rugby team. That's
so when's that
close
start?
enough. March. I can't remember. I sent you whatever that first one is.
Yeah.
It'd be cold as fuck.
Where are they going to play at? So Kennedy did win. Nice. Good deal. That's a good win, though. That's something to take away from that. Where they playing? You told me before.
They bought the Chicago Fire Stadium.
So I think is that
It's
out like,
outside. We looked.
is it
It's
like
a
Hoffman Estates?
no, 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 no. It's a pretty industrial little town. Because remember, I looked. And I was like, "Fuck, there ain't nothing around that joint."
You're right.
There's like a bar. There's a couple bullshit. There's like a fucking Chili's, maybe an Applebee's, but
Chicago Fire still a thing?
yeah, I think they moved closer to town though.
Oh, they're playing
It's
at
called like
Soldier.
Seat Geek. This is
They're
like
playing at
Seat Geek
Soldier Field.
Stadium. Yeah, so they're fucking right downtown.
SeatGeek Stadium.
Yeah.
All right, let's look it up on the map here.
It is close to Hoffman, but it's outside. Like I said, it's in a very industrial part of or fucking town it's in.
It is right off 294, which is nice, which means it's fairly convenient to get to. It's southwest of the city, almost due west of Chicago Midway Airport. And I'm trying to see. I mean, maybe Oak Lawn is what you call that bridge view.
Bridgeview is what I believe it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely would be easy to get to, but you're right. I mean, it's just basically residential all
desolate.
around there.
Yeah.
There's not much. But you're not far from, I don't know, like Willowbrook and shit, which I'm LaGrange, which I'm sure there's some stuff there. Orland Park's down the road a ways. I don't know. I
I just
mean,
thought it'd be cool. Get out and check it. I've never watched one live in concert, so see what it's
sure.
like.
I can't imagine tickets are going to be too expensive, right?
No. So it's Major League Rugby. It's a new thing in the United States. They've been trying to make it gain a little momentum. All the teams are in. There's like 12 teams. They're all in major cities. You know, New York, Houston, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, New Orleans, you know. So that idea, I think they're smart because they're not putting in some podunk ass little town. So, you know, you at
Right.
least get some sort of numbers to them before you try to expand.
What would it be like if they ran pro sports like high school sports in a way, where you had to live like within the certain region to play for the team?
The Bears would be much worse. And the
Worse?
the Commanders would probably be even worse.
So who do you
There are a couple senators out there.
who do you think would be the best NFL team if they had to draw from their, like, you know,
the Dolphins.
60-mile
Dolphins.
radius of their stadium?
Miami. You kidding
Yeah.
me?
No, you're probably right. The Cowboys would probably be better.
Yeah. Good possibility. Maybe Houston Texans. I don't know
But I
where
mean,
the
I guess if you're
Texans fucking stadium is though. Houston.
you probably couldn't stop people from moving and shit though. I mean, obviously, which would make it weird. But LA, yeah, maybe. Tom Hanks lining up at wide receiver for the Rams. Like Matt Damon completes a pass to Tom Hanks on 3rd and 7 for the first down. I tell you what, it'd be a hell of a lot more entertaining if that was the case.
Tampa's a good one.
I just wish that there's something about seeing people who aren't good at something do the thing, right? And like I told Matty Ice last week, like in the AFC North, if you could just grab people like 40 guys from those cities and bring them on the field, like, you know, Cincinnati and Cleveland, and just strap them up with shoulder pads and helmets and let them
We'll
go.
go there, beat the fuck out of each other.
I mean, like, it would not be good football, but it would.
Have you ever
certainly be
watched one of
entertaining.
those alumni games?
I have not.
They're not great. I don't know, some of
No.
those guys like
Well,
live
and
and die
that's
by it.
well,
They
that's
love
the thing
it.
is,
And
and
that's
that's
cool.
that,
It's your thing.
and that's just it. You have people that take it really seriously, but they're not athletically gifted enough to play the game at a high level, which is not entertaining for spectators typically. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think probably the most interesting sports for people to watch, where people are competing that aren't like talented and whatever the sport is, would be combat sports, like wrestling, MMA, boxing. Like, I mean, come on, like, it's boring to watch two people that are really good at boxing box, but if you grab two guys out of a bar
and let them go at it
and let them box, like, that's fucking entertainment.
I watched
You know what
I
I'm saying?
watched one
Like,
of those bare knuckle, what the fuck were those things called? They were like Tough Enough or whatever. It's the one Butterbean used to like back. Remember those things? They used to hold them in Peoria quite a bit.
oh, the Tough Man.
Tough Man, yes.
Tough Man
Those are
contest.
great. Those were great. I don't think they do them anymore, but
No, but you I think anyone that entered that, though, you had to at least be in shape a little bit. Now, I'm
no,
sure
no.
no? I never saw one, so I might be way off base, but I just assume that most people that would enter that would at least have some sort of athletic ability and be in decent physical condition.
Recently, and I'll have to look it up. I can't remember what it's called, but it's PFC or something like Peoria Fight Club or something. And the guy actually did a really good job, like advertising and shit, because it started off like in someone's backyard with like 4 poles in the ground with rope tied between them, like a backyard wrestling ring. These fucking guys would get in there, made up names, whatever, but they'd fight for real. And it's actually picked up some traction. Like had a couple like fights at old nightclubs in Peoria and shit. So, but those are fucking is gold. Some of that
Well,
shit's gold because you get one old boy that can box. One guy's just fucking out there to be out there.
what I'm thinking is, what I'm hearing is Pubtime Fight Club.
We don't talk about it, Brad.
I mean, we could definitely do that. You got a backyard that's got a 6-foot fence. We could rope off a small corner, and although your former residence in Creve Coeur would have been more at the epicenter of the talent, but
Which ones?
well, I mean, come on, like most people that live where you live now are above this sort of thing. If you were still at your old place, I mean, you would have had them coming out of the woodwork.
Let's talk. You remember my AC neighbor?
Yes.
Yeah. Some of those Sunday mornings, like Sutton be sitting on the driveway drinking beer. We're 9:30, 10 o'clock on Sunday, smoking. one time, like the fucking windows open, he's like yelling, he's like, hack, you gotta come here, you gotta see this shit.
It's like
come out and
praying
I'm
in the
looking.
driveway or something.
Oh, dude, everybody's wearing white. They're all fucking packed around this car praying. He's like, listen, I know I'm high, but are you seeing what I'm seeing? I'm like, yeah, brother, it happens. It happens quite a bit, actually. Like,
I
he's
can
just
like
posted up in the middle of the driveway, Coors lights, probably all around him, lawn
I mean,
chair.
he's probably like 10 feet away, right? From
Yes,
from
yes,
the prayer circle.
they fucking did not break stride.
I mean,
Not one
good for
hallelujah
them.
was missed. Yeah.
My only thing is, if they were real Christians, they would have invited him over, tried to
But
save his soul.
he may have been the one they were praying on. You never
That's
know.
maybe true. He looks mean. We'll just pray in his proximity.
Cato's probably sleeping on the sidewalk in some
Light box.
some empty box. Praying for my child.
Well, that's probably about the time you had the dead pig in a bucket under your deck.
I don't think I had a deck then. I wasn't
No?
that high class yet.
Well, like Rick said, you're way too high class now. Living up there.
No, I stick out like a sore dick for sure.
You live in the suburbs of Sunnyland.
Yes. I forget what this subdivision's called. Rolling something, or Harvard Hills or something like that. Harvard Hills.
Have you been into Kirk's Corner?
Fuck yeah, I like Kirk's.
I heard it's kind of a rough place. Maybe not so much anymore. I don't know, but I've heard it's kind of a.
If by rough you mean drunk and not many teeth, yes. The answer is yes. It's fucking Cooler 2.0, man. It ain't bad. You just gotta deal with some of the fucking meth heads.
I was telling a story at work today about the Cooler. I said I used to spend a lot of time with the Cooler. A lot of you probably don't know what it is because it hasn't existed for a while. I said, the little bar right there off 74 in East Peoria by Carl's Bakery. And I said, it's about as big as this room. And I said, my favorite part was bringing people there that had never been there before, that weren't used to that type of environment. And one of my favorite things when those people were there would be to look down the bar and say, Kyle, show him the bearskin rug. And I say, Kyle, who's probably a 50-year-old super drunk man with overweight, would rip his shirt off on command and show off his insanely hairy chest with no questions asked.
Like chest, back. He had a built-in sweater.
Yeah, I'm like, just the hairiest human you've ever seen. Like, just
how many times I asked that guy, like, hey, just can you shave in a neckline and maybe like kill it at the elbow?
And then
he's like, no. I was like, fuck, I'll buy you some fireballs.
And then I explained that the first time I realized that place was different is probably one of those moments for me. This was one of those moments for you. You and I were there, and we're sitting there, and it's probably like between 5 and 6 p.m. And I hear the bartender start screaming at a man, God damn it, Mark. Fucking told you, don't fucking do that shit in here. And I said, what the fuck is she screaming about? And you go, oh, that's just Mark. He just pissed himself again. And, and that's why I'm like, what do you mean he pissed himself? You're like, look over there. And I look, and there's just a fucking puddle under his bar stool. And
Yep.
I'm like, wait, she said again. You're like, oh, this happens fucking 4 times a week. Like, this is clockwork. No big deal.
One of the mouthiest motherfuckers you've ever met in your life, too. Crazy.
Oh, no shit. Like, and you talk about like fucking has the mouth, but like zero ability to back any of it up for a fucking second. Like, I mean, he might
Yeah,
piss
can't
on
even-
you, I guess, if you get too close, but
Can't even stand up straight, but he's gonna run his mouth.
yeah, no, he was a fucking dickhead. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there is some
one
fucking
night I was down
characters.
there and Kenny, you remember Kenny? Cool Kenny, blonde hair guy,
Yeah.
real kind of like strange voice. I mean, unique, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yes.
So we're sitting there one day.
Was
and
he the
he's
guy
drunk.
that had the trach thing?
No,
You're
no.
the guy with the trach thing?
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember the trach. But Kenny, he'd always get into him. He walks outside and he goes, "My motorcycle's gone." Like, what do you mean? Did anybody hear my fucking motorcycle? I'm like, no, nobody heard his motorcycle. So he had been banging this chick. Well, her husband didn't enjoy that very much. So he came down there and removed Kenny's motorcycle from him, like just pushed it next door, started it, and took off.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You ride
you
my
left
hog.
your keys?
You ride my hog. I'm
Like,
gonna
I
ride yours.
I'm like, you left your keys in your motorcycle? And he goes, no. I'm like, well, how'd they get the fucking bike out of here? Well, I put it in a truck. I'm like, I don't know, Caddy. But they go next door to the gas station. It's like, yeah, somebody took off on a bike about 10 minutes ago.
Jeez.
We thought it was weird they're pushing it down the sidewalk.
No shit. Hey, good move though.
Yeah,
He
you
prob-
never
that guy
started
that guy
there.
probably cared more about losing his bike than anything else you could have done to him at that point, I would imagine.
I don't think you ever got it back either. That's the best part. I think a boy took it and flipped it.
What would have been best if he would have been like, "What happened to my motorcycle?" And it was one of those DUI bikes, the 10-speed with the fucking little motor on it.
No, I don't remember anybody having any of those. Billy
I
Curtis.
feel like, yeah, Billy Curtis
Curdy
definitely
Curtis.
did. Yeah, you'd see those things cruising up and down Washington Street all the time. Billy Curtis.
His ass did get busted riding a bicycle one night back on the levee. Busted his ass. Cops pulled him over, took his shit.
Jeez. Did he kick it?
No, he's
I
alive.
thought there
Well, I
was
seen
something
him.
about him. Did you?
I see him post all the time on Facebook. He can't spell worth the fuck, but
You got to be in rough shape.
he's in
know what I
Florida
mean?
right now.
Oh well, fuck. Maybe he's living the fucking
70
dream.
degrees.
Yeah,
for
look
the
at us.
week.
Look
For
at
the
us,
week.
fucking idiots. Oh, he's in Florida for the week. I think you mean he moved down there.
No,
Moved
he'll
to
be
the
back.
villages.
He'll be back on Kerfoot pretty soon.
Gotcha. Who was it? Was it Mikey Sharp that died in his backyard?
Yeah, the dog in
That
his shed.
froze to death?
In his shed, yeah.
Jesus.
What a shitty way to die.
No fucking shit, man. I can name
Be
like
so drunk you don't know what's going on.
I mean, I guess if you're that drunk and you just passed out, fuck, what's the difference? I don't know. I mean,
I imagine that's what. And
I'd
I
rather
think it was-
freeze to death than die of heat stroke.
I don't think
Tell
he
you that
let the
much.
dog live in the house. Because him and the dog didn't get along very well. At least when they were drunk. You know what I mean? When they weren't drunk.
Who like
Billy.
Billy and the dog?
Billy
So
and
he
the dog.
made Mikey sleep out back with the dog or what?
No, he gave him a spot in the shed. You know, like, this is yours. Do whatever you need to do. Drop cord. Probably had a heater the whole bit. Just dog probably just went in there and went to sleep.
But I thought that Mikey, right?
Yeah.
Fell asleep. I thought he like went out to like take a piss and passed out in the yard and just
He
froze to
might
death
he might have,
or
but
something like that.
he didn't sleep in the house most of the time.
Right.
Because you
God
know how he
damn it.
was. He'd be fucking drunk.
Oh yeah, he was talking about sucking kernels of corn out of women's asshole with a straw.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
to complete
So,
fucking strangers. So I can't imagine what he was like to people he knew.
so when they're both fucking out of their mind, you take that shit out to the shed, dog. You ain't bringing it in here.
I tell you what though, that was probably just if life hadn't have taken a few turns, that was just a precursor to you and old Sutton down the road. You would have had
What's that?
Sutton. You had
Sleeping
Slutty
in my shed?
sleeping out back in the fucking shed with the dog.
I got a much nicer shed now, though. So fuck,
And
it's Get a couple
mean,
tears in there.
Lord knows Sutton's not above sucking kernels of corn out of anybody's asshole.
No, he's always
So-
talking about look at the shitter on that critter. That guy never stops.
Tongue punch that dirt star. That's the first time I ever heard that phrase was from him. I'm like,
Yep, 100 miles of bad road.
yeah,
Chinese arithmetic. Every
No
one of
shit.
them. Love it all.
Those were solid gold. No doubt about that. But
Best.
Yeah.
Who is the best bartender at the cooler?
Chad,
Sands? No, Sands.
like
Chad.
regular Sans Chad. I mean, Tony. Now it's post cooler, but Tony was always cool. Man. Tony would hook us up.
No. We ain't saying Tony. Cooler. Tony
Yeah,
never worked at the cooler.
Okay, so cooler. Well, you still call it the cooler, so
Yeah, fuck, it'll never change. Very unfortunate.
I'm gonna say probably. I don't know, man. When we first started going there, Stephanie was pretty cool.
How cool.
I mean, she'd hook it up or whatever, but I don't
How
know. I
so?
mean, Mary was kind of a bitch. Who was the one chick? Started with M.
Melanie.
Melanie.
Was the shit.
Melanie.
Leaves the house. She's
Yeah,
a lovely lady.
she had to make
And
up.
I don't mean like she was 300 pounds. She
No,
was like
she just
7
had to.
foot
She
tall.
had to
was
make up
huge.
for what she lacked in looks with the enthusiasm, and she
Oh,
did a
she
great
did
job
too.
of that.
So one night, me and Sutton were down there. He's running his mouth about something, and I'm tired of listening to it. I turn around and I just fucking headbutt him right in his fucking shit, split him wide open. He's fucking bleeding all over the place. We start arguing, and she's like, "I'm calling the fucking cops." We look at her like, "The fuck you are? We're fine. You leave us alone." He went and sat one end of the bar. I sat at the other. Had a couple more drinks. And we're like, it's time to go, man. Let's leave.
Jesus Christ. No, I'm not one bit surprised that happened. At all.
He was rocking the repeater. You know he does that. That fucking.
Oh yeah, he starts sticking his finger in the air, standing
brother,
up.
I've heard this fucking story 3 or 4 times now. I don't want to hear it no more. Get on my face.
Yeah, I've heard it 3 or 4 times in the last 10 minutes. Like not like in my lifetime, like since we've been here.
Yeah, today.
And it's one of those things that if it's the first time you've ever met him, you're like, this guy's great.
You remember Rusty's old lady, the guy that used to who actually owned the cooler?
I know who you're
The
talking
one that
about.
had the
Rusty.
weird twitch.
I can't remember his old lady.
She was young. You would if I had a fucking.
I'm sure I would. I'm sure I would.
But she always kind of, I don't know. She's a bit of a tweaker. She looked much younger than Rusty.
Like Michael J. Fox or what? Like
no, she wasn't that bad. She's probably more like Christopher Lloyd. I wish I could remember. Beth, maybe. I can't remember. You'd know her if I. Oh God. If I give you a picture, you'd be like, "Yep."
I'm sure I would. There's probably
Totally
a ton
remember.
of people that I could see them and be like, I don't know who you are, but I probably know what you drink. Like
we got some groceries the other day, and Kim's sister comes to the door.
Okay.
Remember Kim?
Yeah.
The Oach?
Wasn't her sister, I'm pretty sure, was like better looking than she was.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't let her hear
if
that
I'm not
name.
mistaken. I think he's talking about the B word.
Yes, yeah. Where's fire up?
That's who I'm thinking of.
YouTube hasn't hit us for enough shit. Fire up a little kiss, Beth.
Oh God.
Let's play one.
Rick's probably got enough emotional trauma from the war days. We don't need to pile on. We need to pile on with any Beth business.
Isn't that who sang that? Wasn't it Kiss? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if it was Kiss or if it was Rick. That's not a knock. I'm just saying that's the last thing you want to fucking hear is that shit.
I'm pretty sure it was Kiss.
But I thought it was
one of the. I
thought it was a solo. Yeah, and maybe I thought for some reason I'm thinking it was Paul Stanley solo or
specifically. Yeah.
Maybe. But there's a few of those out there, right? Like there's a
hold on. What's the best song to play at the cooler? Best song.
Oh man.
You got two.
tough.
You have two. I'm gonna name your two, and I want you to name my two.
I don't know if, but
I
the two you,
know I've got your two.
but I don't. They're two I would
But
play because they're songs I like, but I don't know if they're like the two songs I'm like. If you had to play the soundtrack of the Cooler in two songs, what would you
I
play?
have your soundtrack of the Cooler in these
Let's
two
go.
songs.
What
I
you
want
got?
you to have mine. Two Live Crew, We Want Some Pussy,
Okay.
and Tenacious D. What the fuck is that song?
Fuck her gently.
Fuck Her Gently. There
You
you go.
don't always have to fuck her hard.
Yes,
In
yes.
fact,
Zanzibar.
sometimes
Yes.
that's not right to do. I can't sing anymore, man. I'll get fucking dinged for copyright by the three people that
Probably
are
true.
watching this right now. God, you. Ooh, you're so all over though. I am too, I guess.
I gave you one a couple weeks ago. I was a huge fan of that one. It's on there. I bought it. Like,
Are you talking about Cortez the Killer?
nope, never listened to that. That's
Grace Potter?
that's 7 or 8 minutes long. Fuck, I ain't playing that thing.
Well, you get your fucking money's worth then.
No bullshit,
Like
Lester.
when
We
Lester
ain't
would
doing
play
that
that
fucking
shit.
25-minute long Arlo Guthrie bullshit. Trying to kill that guy a couple of times.
God, I mean, I want to say like some fucking Pantera or Waylon Jennings or something, but
Oh,
I know. I mean,
how do you spell relief, Brad? You get DRUNK. Little
okay,
David Allen Coe.
right.
God damn it.
And what else? What else you got? I don't know. It's been so long.
I don't know, maybe Shakedown Street, Grateful Dead,
Yeah, that's good.
or fucking
What was the one song? God, the
Give Me
people
Back
used
My
to play it.
Bullets, Leonard
People used to
Skinner.
play it all the time.
In that place, Crazy Bitch.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was common. But oh fuck, dude, there was a song. I'm gonna look it up here while we're chatting because I feel like I might be able to find it.
Give me some lyrics.
I don't know if I know the lyrics either.
Give me a lyric. Because you're right. You would get some of them fucking. It was no better than the radio station. You go in there most days, it'd be the same fucking 12 songs.
I want to
over
say
and
it was
over
a
again.
song that had something to do with blue jeans or jeans.
Jeans. No, it's called Jeans, and it's like one of those one-off band. Hinder.
Maybe. I
Put
don't
in
know.
Hinder Jeans. See what pops up on your phone. You're fucking with it. Put it in there. Hinder Jeans. Guaranteed.
Hinder jeans. What do you?
Just like that porn star dancing one. I mean, I know what you're
Yeah,
going
that
with
was a
this
pop.
one, yes.
So listeners, both of you, what are some
It ain't
good
no Mel
bar
Johnson, no
songs?
tight-fitting jeans. What are you talking about?
What are some bar songs that I don't think it was Hinder. No. I want to say I don't know, man. I would thought that like the
I'm
band
talking
did Silverchair, the band Silverchair have a song about jeans?
Freak. That's their big song. I'm searching. Fuck it.
I don't know. Anyways, what are some good bar songs, huh? Rick, Billy, Kevin, whoever's there. What are some good bar songs that you always enjoyed? You went up to the jukebox, threw a couple bucks in, maybe did a play next because you didn't want to wait in line behind Crazy Bitch and Porn Star Dancing.
It wasn't Hinder. Who the fuck was it? I'm gonna figure it out. I'll remember it.
But yo, you're right though. Like if I ever go into a bar, which I don't go to many anymore, but like if I go to one, I'm gonna play music. I just go to like the top most frequently played, and I just pick
friends
a
in low
few on.
places.
I just
Yeah.
pick a few on there that I like.
You try to play to the home crowd?
Well, I just figure, yeah, I'll try to
Fuck the home crowd.
appease my own preferences and
You
also
go into the
not
fucking most
ruffle up the natives.
uptight ass bar you ever had. You fucking pay the $2 and you play that 2 White Crew. Plain and simple.
That's true. I mean, I tell you what though, with Kevin there, and you're talking about, I was telling somebody the other day that like the song "Kiss from a Rose" by Seal. Someone came on, they're like, "Oh, this song reminds me of Space Jam or whatever," and I'm like, "This song reminds me of the few Friday nights when we'd win a game, and it was on some CD in the locker room, and the kids would fire it up. But I tell you what, though, man, like just because of the circumstances, I learned to love that song. That song, and yeah, that We Want Some Pussy. Those are some good ones.
Yeah, he hasn't heard it much.
Yeah, probably 4 times in about 7 years, but that's all right. I'll take it, man. It's the most glorious 4 fucking times I've heard "Kiss from a Rose" in my life.
How
What
do you think
happened?
that guy? Let's be honest. How do you think that guy did it?
What
Heidi Klum.
was he? Is that who he's married to or whatever?
Yeah.
What happened to his face?
I don't know.
Born
Could have
that
been
way?
birth. I don't know. Well, the face is fucked up. Let's be honest. But he's not a great singer either. So I really don't know what he's bringing to the table.
Hey, you take that back.
What?
You take that back. Because did you know
Maybe
that
he's.
when it snows?
Oh,
That's
fuck.
all I know, I think. But
What song would I play if I went to the bar right now? I don't know.
Oh.
What you got, pal?
he'd probably play a Chris Stapleton song, would be my guess.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Nothing. Post Malone.
Post Malone?
Maybe a little
You
Post
were like,
Malone shit. Depends. I mean, I don't know.
my
Listen,
God, you
I'm
were like,
high, but I am not that high right now, okay? For this Chris Stapleton business. I've heard them
what do
all. They're
you
great.
mean you're not high
He's an
enough for
angel.
Chris
He's
Stapleton?
an angel. He's an angel. Hillbilly angel.
It's like if you were like cookie batter, man, you'd be Post Malone, a little Chris Stapleton,
I
a
mix
little
it up a
David
little bit.
Allen Coe,
Depends on
and,
what kind of mood I'm in. And I'm
dumping
trying to be in a better mood right now, right?
dumping IPA in there.
Fucking little Silk. Whip it up.
No shit, with your fucking almond milk. Yeah, fuck. Wasn't
Silk.
that on Happy Hour?
Oh,
We talked about that. Okay,
yeah.
listeners, if you never listened to the episode like a few weeks ago, when we were on with the Happy Hour podcast. Ryan,
Basically
okay,
called himself out.
he drinks fucking Silk.
I just
He drinks
tried it.
almond. No, you said you prefer it over milk.
Oh, yeah. Unless I want my asshole to talk all night. Yes, I will take the.
I would just not. Okay, if I couldn't drink milk without having the fucking shits, I'd just drink something. I'd drink water. Like I would not drink fucking fake milk. I would not drink almond milk for a fucking second.
It's not fake milk, Brad. It's almond
It
milk.
is. Can you
It's
milk
just
an
not
almond?
milk from a teat.
Then it's not milk. It's almond water. Is what it is. It's almond juice.
Would you rather
Fucking-
have breast milk
yeah,
or
Fairy
almond milk,
sperm,
Brad?
yeah. At least breast milk is milk. It's not nut juice.
I'll
Nut juice.
take the nut
Billy,
juice.
Billy, obviously a big nut juice fan. It appears. Like, no way, man. Not a. Okay, I'll say this.
Obviously, you don't fucking. You don't have the same problems I have. I told you, a glass
say
of
this.
milk will
Okay,
fuck me up.
Okay, Rick's right. It's not milk. It's not milk, which is true. Like I think that anyone with a fucking
No, he's talking about breast milk.
no, breast milk is milk, and he is a breast milk connoisseur, if I've ever met one. Okay,
He's referring to breast milk. I guarantee it.
and yeah, Silk is nut juice. All right, and I'm not saying it's like terrible because I've had it before. It's edible, drinkable, whatever, but like it's not great. And but my thing is for you, all right, you look
Right.
at you bearded, sleeveless shirt, I love MILFs, tatted
Listen.
up man
Listen,
that's drinking fucking nut juice.
on the daily, I'm going to tell you what I drink in a day, okay? I drink 1 cup of coffee, maybe a bottle or 2 of water, especially now when it's cold. I don't drink as much water as I probably should. And 12 beers. That's usually my intake for the day. Maybe 1 soda at lunch or juice or something, but I'm probably the most dehydrated person you ever met in your life. The Silk,
No. Second most. I'm the most dehydrated person.
old lady bought some. I tried it. It didn't fuck me up. I guess it was my trial runs. First time I ever tried it. I had a glass.
You've got the
tried a
most
glass of chocolate milk.
You have the most temperamental digestive system of anyone I've ever met in my life. Yes.
just for
From no. How many times I can't
liquid
even
milk. Oh,
tell
my
you how
asshole
many
falling
times
out?
that
Fuck,
you've been
bud. You
like,
never know.
"Oh, that fucked me up. That fucked me up. I'm about to go round 2 with Taco John's." Like, no, I've heard all this stuff many, many times.
Hey,
Silk isn't silk
is what
fake
it is.
fake milk too? It's not milk.
So what is
Hydrated?
this symptom?
I don't know.
You do look pretty fucking hydrated. I'm not gonna lie.
Just because 'cause I'm swollen. This is
No,
probably the beer.
you get
That's
stung by
just
a
the
bee.
stung by a bee. That's just the, I don't know what you wanna call it. That's just the calories you're seeing.
No, it's
But
it's it's not bad. It's not great. A cold glass of milk, vitamin D, or chocolate, actual legit chocolate fucking milk. Like you ever had that Oberweis shit?
I have
Comes in a
not.
glass bottle. Fuck. You ain't had milk. That shit
So
is delicious, but
so
it fucks
do
me up. I can't do it.
do they make chocolate silk?
Yeah, it's not great. Let's
Well,
be
no
honest.
shit, like, fucking
Tastes
tell
like Ovaltine or Nestle Quick. It's fucking disgusting. It's chocolate, but it's not.
Oh, so she's asking, yeah, you left the silk out.
I'm just saying I tried it. I've lit 2 glasses. I've drank 1 white, 1 chocolate. I don't drink milk hardly at all.
Do you
So
eat
this
cereal?
oh fuck, I'll fuck up some Golden Grams.
I
We've
would
talked
too.
about this
I
before, but
would
I don't. I
that's
don't eat
right.
cereal. That's kid shit, I
I would
guess. I don't
knock
know.
the fucking shit out of some cereal, but my problem with cereal is, like, I'm eating the box, right? I'm gonna sit down, I'm
Yeah.
gonna fucking eat the at least 2/3 of that box of cereal, if not the whole fucking thing. Um,
The only thing I eat like religiously that has milk in it, mac and cheese and oatmeal. I eat a lot of oatmeal, but I don't like same with you're saying with cereal. It doesn't like necessarily fill me up. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So oatmeal, I feel like 2 bags fucking does the trick.
Okay, how about this for a food that doesn't fill you up, but that is like a staple in most people's diets? Well, probably not recently unless you're rich, is eggs. Like, if
I knock fuck out some eggs.
but if you had to, like, just get full off of eggs, you'd have to eat, like, 17 eggs.
No
Now,
bullshit.
isn't it weird, though? It depends on how they're cooked. Like, hard-boiled eggs, you eat, like, 3 hard-boiled eggs, and you're like,
Fuck
"I'm good."
full. Can't do no
But,
more.
like, fried
Fry
eggs,
that bitch up, yeah, or
fried
scramble.
egg, like, seriously, you'd have to eat, like, literally a dozen fucking fried eggs before you're like, "Okay,
My
that's
asshole would also fall out.
enough." I mean,
Those
it's
eggs,
so weird
like
because
I
eggs are
made you,
delicious. I love eggs, but, like, you gotta eat a lot of fucking eggs to get, like, full, I feel like, especially if they're, like, fried eggs.
the last time you came by, I made you those little fucking eggs.
Yeah.
I've been fucking with those things for a while now. Put a little pico de gallo in there, spinach.
It was like a breakfast burrito in cupcake form.
Oh fuck, it's delicious. And you just
It was
drop
good.
the egg, you just pour it in the fucking cupcake pan, throw it in the oven, 10 minutes, done. Delicious.
No, it was good. I liked it. I'm not crazy though about I mean, I'll eat scrambled eggs, omelets, whatever, but, like, my favorite egg is a fried egg, like, sunny side up or over easy, like, 10 out of 10
What's
times.
your ass doing in the morning?
Probably sleeping. Why? I mean,
You
I
need to
don't
go
have
to
plans, that's what I'm saying.
we need to go to Goodfield. There's this
What
little
the
place called the Busy Corner.
I've heard of it, yeah.
You need to get the eggs Benny.
We remember that time we went there that time before we went out
Farm?
there and you shot the leg off that baby deer. You remember that?
Yes.
And, like, how stupid were we? Like, granted, I'm not a hunting guru by any means, but, like, we literally went and sat and ate breakfast at a fucking restaurant. We smelled like bacon and eggs, and then went and sat in a field for 4 fucking hours, wondering why no
That's
deer
probably
walked past us.
why that cow was trying to molest you. Eggs
Oh
no,
god.
they're fucking eggs Benedict, little fucking English muffin, the fucking slice of ham they put on there, probably walking around a couple days before. Delicious. Is it it's the best breakfast I've had around here. Easy.
Yeah. Um, that's one thing, man, about like Lakin, right, where I live. There's a couple places here in town that serve breakfast, but it's not good. Like the fucking ice cream place, Grandma Rosie's, like they do like lunch and they have breakfast there, and it's okay. Like
Hold on.
it's
How
okay
did
if
you
you're in a
what'd you
pinch.
call it?
It's an ice cream place.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
is.
They don't
And
fuck
it's
with
like
breakfast.
whatever. You're in a pinch. You whatever. It's okay. There's Victoria's. It's a diner. I would not eat there. Um, unless you want food poisoning. Um, I mean, Henry, I tell you what though, I circled back. So, and Rick knows this place too if he's listening still. The Chestnut and Henry. Now I know you had a bad experience there. We had all went there several times in the camping days, but we went up there like I don't know 4 or 5 months ago on a Saturday morning, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's go try it. I was good. It was good. It
Well,
wasn't weird.
to
Uh,
be
it was
honest,
fine.
how hard is it to fucking cook breakfast
Yeah,
food?
but the weird
If
part
I were
about
to
that
open a
place though
restaurant, that's
is
all
it
I'd serve.
the strange part about that place is the waitresses and stuff are, like, Russian. And so there's some weird, like, I don't know if
There's a
they're mail
pipeline.
order brides or KGB or what, but, like, you've seen, oh god, what's a fucking Shameless?
Yeah, I
Like,
love it.
the chick that's the
Uh-huh.
Russian chick that's, like, the bartender or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like there's 2 of them that work there as the
sounds
waitresses.
amazing.
It's like, uh but it's really though, like, it had been a few years since I'd been there, and I'm like, "You know what? Fuck it," because all those places in the square we used to go or that one place closed, which wasn't great anyways, but, so we went there, and it was actually I'm like, "You know, I'll give it a try," and it was fine, and,
What
it
was
was
that
definitely
fucking
better.
place called that was in the square?
Um,
That bomb ass burger. One
Gibson's.
time, the next time it was
Gibson's,
dog shit. Yeah.
yeah, but they also serve booze there, which I think was why we like to go because you could get a Bloody Mary or something. It wasn't a great Bloody Mary, but it was a Bloody Mary, where I don't think, Gibson's didn't serve that, or not yeah, or no,
Chestnut didn't serve it.
Chestnut did not serve that. Um,
Let's talk Bloody Marys. What do you need?
Rail
What do you need?
Splitter in Mossville isn't bad for breakfast. Check it out. What do I need for what? A Bloody Mary?
Yeah.
See, now people get too caught up
Hold on.
on
Stop. I'm gonna give you you get 4 ingredients. And that includes your liquor and whatever like Bloody Mary base.
okay, if I get 4 ingredients, I'm taking vodka,
What kind?
um,
I want specifics.
Tito's,
Yeah.
Tito's vodka, Zing Zang, Tabasco,
If you
and if I
pick a
can't,
good
like
Bloody Mary mix, the Tabasco's in there, don't you
no,
think?
but I like a hot Bloody Mary. I like a
Okay.
hot Bloody Mary. So, um,
Isn't
Cheetos,
there some sort of
same thing,
vegetable you could have put in there to like make it hot? Tabasco's not hot.
but I just like that
You could have
kick.
okay.
And then beyond that, I guess a pickle. I was gonna say a little pickle juice, but
You want the
I do
pickle.
like the pickle. Give me a pickle spear.
Dunk,
That's one.
stir it.
Yeah,
You do the whole bit.
yeah. What you got?
Ah, I'm going McCormick's because I don't know. I think it's just built in. Been around, love it. Zing Zang, olives, and some sort of sausage, whether it be deer sausage, summer sausage, a
Or
beef stick. I don't give a duck
duck
sausage. Fucking
sausage.
put it in. Yes, a piece of meat, piece of cheese would be nice. If
I'm
I
gonna
would have said 5 ingredients,
put my meat right in your Bloody Mary.
if I had 5, there'd be a piece of cheese in there. And I'm really upset you didn't have a fucking piece of cheese.
See, but people, and this is like fucking coochies, man. This is their fucking gimmick. Everybody gets caught up on the
That fucking
all the bullshit.
cheeseburger and shit. Their
Everybody gets
Bloody
caught
Mary's
up on
not
the shit
bad.
on
Don't
top.
talk shit about it. It's not
Are you
bad.
serving a Bloody Mary or are you serving an appetizer? Which one?
Both.
But then both need
You're
to be
paying
good.
an appetizer price.
You
It's
are.
a
You're right
$10 or
about that.
$12 fucking
And that's
Bloody
the only
Mary.
thing is
So
like for what you pay for it, like even if you don't like the drink, all the shit that's on top of it is probably Worth it.
Give me the meatball. Give me the celery stick. Give me the whole bit. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
Celery stick,
A piece of
in my
chicken.
mind, a celery
I'm
stick
okay
is
with
just
it.
a filler. It adds nothing to the Bloody Mary.
What do you mean? That flavor? Celery
No,
salt?
it's
Rick's
water. It's fucking water. A celery stalk is water. It's fibrous water. Like, that's all it is. Like, now,
You're holding a lot of water right now. I get that.
now Rick and I
Why are you attacking celery?
used to go to Uncle Buck's down at Bass Pro, and now that place has shitty food and everything else, but they had a good Bloody Mary. Come with a piece of fucking shrimp on there and everything else. That was a good Bloody Mary for sure.
The place formerly known as the Cooler, don't even fucking order one because they ain't got the shit to make it. This bitch
Yeah.
pulled out vodka and V8
Celery is
juice.
not a building block. So it's a filler, man. It's a filler. If your Bloody Mary is good, you don't need a piece. Now celery salt, sure, but you don't need a fucking stalk of celery.
Where did the celery salt come from, Brad?
But I tell you what, celery salt has way more flavor than any stalk of celery ever dreamt of having. Like celery salt does not come from celery, not a chance. There's no way that celery
You
salt.
never fuck with those
celery.
little logs when you're a kid, little peanut butter, a couple raisins on that thing.
Sure,
Use
but the
celery.
has no
So yes,
flavor.
it does. Yes, it does.
Barely. Barely.
Have you ever cooked? It's part of the Holy Trinity.
Of what?
You go down south, man. Celery, onions, peppers. Boom. Holy Trinity.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good filler if you're cooking. Like, people put it in like stuffing on Thanksgiving and cut it up, put in stuffing, things like
I
that.
cook with celery a lot. I don't know. So this is not a good argument to have.
Well, I
I'm
think it's
pro
good.
celery.
Well, I could say this. I think it's a type of thing that would add like some moisture to something that might be a little on the dry side, or like a vegetable soup. You chop up celery. She gives it a little crunch, a little texture.
Let's not talk about your smoked chicken right now.
But I'm
We got
saying,
other shit to talk about.
I'm not talking about smoked fucking chicken.
You're
Okay?
dry. You said something that needs a little moisture.
I'm saying that celery is a good addition if you're looking for some texture or maybe some moisture of some kind, or maybe you need some fiber in your diet, I guess. But it's not a flavor adder in any sense of the imagination.
Flavor enhancer.
Whatever, it isn't.
It is. It is. I don't know where you're
I don't hate
sourcing your
celery. I don't
celery.
hate celery. I just don't like it as much as you do, I guess.
It's a staple. It's a staple. It should be in your diet. It's good for you.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I should probably substitute it in place of a lot of things that I eat, but I just don't know that that's going to happen.
I'm just saying anything you're making with onions and peppers, outside of maybe like a pizza, you could probably squeeze it in there.
Oh, sure. It doesn't hurt anything.
It would definitely add value.
It doesn't take away from anything, right? I will agree with that. It doesn't.
No, listen, you need to pick one side of this fucking argument or the other. You cannot you're going right down the middle.
Oh, well, you know me well enough to know I'm always going to sit on the fucking fence, man. Because I can see both sides. If it doesn't hurt anything, but it doesn't make anything better, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Brad is not the pro. He will take anything in your fridge and put inside of a tortilla shell and call it dinner.
Except celery.
Except celery.
Except celery. So
I've seen you make mac and cheese burritos. I've seen all sorts of weird shit.
You could put any kind of pasta in a tortilla shell. Absolutely. Any type of pasta would go in a tortilla shell 100% of the time. Any sort of loose meat or shredded meat.
That's
inside
a
of
fucking given.
Shell.
Yeah, that's a given.
I
disagree with the pasta.
Well, you're wrong. Soups are a little tricky. That's probably not advised. Now, if you want to use a soup as a sauce on top of a loose meat, or some type of pasta, depending on what the pasta is, you could consider that. I mean, there's really not much out there that you couldn't wrap up inside of a tortilla shell. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could, and really, the tortilla shells are good for any meal. Breakfast, a few eggs, some bacon, sausage, hash browns. Make yourself a
You
breakfast burrito.
you fuck with chorizo at all?
No speak Espanol.
You never had it?
It's their version of ground beef, right? Some
No,
type
pork
pork,
sausage.
whatever. Why was it's called fucking pork sausage then? Why you gotta
Have
talk
you
all
ever had it?
Mexican at me?
I'm asking you a question.
Well, yeah, I think one time back in the day, like eighth grade,
Chorizo and eggs?
8th grade, I wanted to go to the junior high state wrestling tournament. In order to do that, I had to go over to Flippo's house, who was stepbrother to Javier, and
Yeah,
Javier Senior cooked up some chorizo, which was
yeah.
probably like about as authentic as chorizo could get, I imagine, considering it was made by a man named Javier. It was okay. Yeah, it tastes like a seasoned hamburger, seasoned it's like taco meat, I guess.
Season really?
Very, very seasoned taco meat. Maybe Javier didn't know what he's doing, but
Yeah. I don't know, it's good. I think you'd like it. If you like
I
tortillas
didn't
for
mind it. Yeah.
breakfast,
Oh, I don't
you
think
just
I would dislike
take a
chorizo.
little rip and just right in the mouth. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck, so good.
I don't think I'd mind chorizo.
Just like that hairy Lebanese food you tried to get me to eat that time. I probably won't ever go back.
Dude, I was
Hey,
so
I
disappointed.
fucking gutted it out. Don't you
You
dare.
did. I was so
I've
bummed out,
gutted
dude,
it the fuck out.
'cause they make good food, and I was really bummed out that I was like, "God," like, of all things that could have fucking happened, like, I would have rather them burnt your food
Oh,
than
fucking burn it to
than
hell.
that.
I'd crunch right through that goddamn
Uh,
thing.
yeah, that sucked. And I've been there 20 times, man, never had a fucking issue. Like, and that
Why
was
didn't it
honestly
end
the
up on
worst.
your plate?
That was literally the worst experience I've ever had there. Even, like, my
Did
own
you
food was, like,
fucking throw that guy
cold.
a wink or something?
No, man, like I said, even my own food, it was just, like, cold, it wasn't great, like, I'm like, "Of course," like, I've talked this place up, it's been great every time I've been here, the one time I'm, like, bringing somebody here, like, the most fucking critical person I know, to eat this
I am
food.
not critical.
Oh,
Just don't
bullshit.
put fucking hair in my food.
You're
There's
critical.
we fucking draw a hard line. Black curly ass hair. I know the fuck it ain't mine.
Um, but, I don't know. Jules? Who's Jules? Hey, Jules. Hi, Jules, if you're here.
It's gotta be
Good to see
Julie.
you. So one thing I was thinking of, I heard this today, and it got me thinking, especially, all this crazy shit going on in the world, and obviously it's not unique to now, but it seems like this stuff kind of circles around every couple of years where people start talking about it, and that is like doomsday preppers, like being ready for like some sort of a cataclysmic event, whether it's uh something from space, like a meteor, or maybe it's um nuclear war or whatever that wipes out the grid, and we no longer, let's just say, we no longer have any sort of electricity or satellites, so your cell phones are gone, all the infrastructure we're used to is now dead, and you are left to fend for yourself. What do you think that looks like?
Right now?
Sure, like, let's say it fucking
Like
happened tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Boom, like, all technology is, like I said, I mean, literally technology all the way back to electricity. No electricity, no communications, like, so grocery store is done, like,
Yeah, yeah.
currency, no longer, like, a dollar, wipe your ass with it, like, useless.
So myself, I think it'd be slow to start, and there'd be
Well, because I think
people.
people, it's like when the power goes out, everyone's just gonna kinda hunker
Oh,
down
hey,
and wait,
how's your
assuming
house doing? It's coming
ass
back. Yes,
yeah,
it's coming back.
assuming that "Oh, we'll wait this out for a day, and it's gonna," yeah, I agree with you, I think that people would kinda wait it out until they started getting hungry.
But then there's gonna be that group of people who are like want a head start, like
Sure.
let's just go take what the
D
neighbors
d
have.
depending on what caused it, right? I think depending
Right.
on what led to that moment would dictate people's reaction. Like, I think if, like, we woke up tomorrow and just, like, the grid was dead completely, like, people would be, like, willing to wait a minute. If it
I
wasn't caused
probably
by, like
I probably only have enough to get rid of my neighbors, if you
yeah,
know what I mean.
no, I got you. Um,
I don't ever want it to get to that point You know what I mean? I don't want my kids to have to live through that kind of shit. I think it would be kind of cool. Me myself, if I didn't have kids, sans kids, let's do it. That sounds amazing. I don't really plan to be here for 85 years
Well,
anyway.
I
So
imagine it would probably be a lot like The Walking Dead, like if you took the zombie factor
no,
out of it.
no, we live with plenty of zombies. You
But you
better
know what I'm
believe
saying,
that.
like
Yes,
that
yes, yes.
part, yeah. But I mean, like, I think you would have like, ultimately, it end up where you have these different communities that form
Band
where
together.
they're
Yeah.
basically they compete for resources. Um, something
I got a
along
lot of
those lines.
older people around me, so I'd say it. They're probably lower on the list. I mean,
Well, you know what's fucking crazy is this part, that if people weren't, like, inherently selfish and were willing to just, like, work together to figure it out, there's probably plenty of, like, agriculture and things that still exist to sustain, like,
but they don't know
feeding
how.
people
That's the bad part. They
without
don't know how.
without all the
Murder.
well, I'm saying, like, there's probably enough resources to sustain life for everyone if people were willing to work together to make that happen. But the problem is that people aren't wired that way. And there's a vast and what you'd run into is there'd be a very few amount of people that are doing the work to feed the many because there are a lot of people out there that have no concept at all. I mean, and I myself, like, I don't know the first thing about milking a cow, butchering a cow, feeding a cow, keeping a cow alive, like,
You just know
but
how to eat
but
that cow.
sure, like most
Yeah.
people would. Now, but I'm saying I probably have more of an idea. I it would be easier to teach me probably, but I'm saying there are a large number of people even more detached than I am that would have no fucking idea. They probably don't even realize that the meat they eat comes from fucking cows. You know
But
what I'm saying? Like,
there's people out there that don't feed themselves, feed their children. Like, let's be honest. You know what I mean?
they don't know
This
how. Is that what you're saying?
don't know how, don't have the will
Oh,
to.
sure.
You know, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine
But
having
what
like
would like what would people do when processed foods are gone, right? I mean, sure, you could
they're
sustain
gonna
for a
go fucking
while off of
crazy.
looting
Let's be
grocery
honest.
stores and looting grocery stores and distribution centers and things like that to retrieve whatever they have. But, then though, let's say if you're a single mother living in the inner city that has cooked on her electric stove with, hamburger helper or whatever you've made, and now you're left to figure it out. I mean, even if you had the ingredients at your disposal, like, can you build a fire?
It doesn't end well.
Like, can you build a fire without a lighter? Can you, what do you do? I mean, and that's the thing is I think there's way too many people that would be reliant on other people to survive, and I don't know how long that would be sustainable.
Mm, it has a lot to do with, like you said, you gotta get enough people to band together, which we know that ain't gonna fucking happen.
Sure. And that's what I'm saying.
So
Like,
you're gonna
if
get
you
pockets. You're gonna get pockets that'll be real strong. You go out and fucking, like where we're at, you go out in the boonies somewhere. Some people will be fine, you know.
sure. Well, like Rick,
Minus
yes, like
having the lights on at home. It's like fuck this how we live on the
yeah.
regular. That's
Well,
not
Rick,
an
yes.
issue.
Where would they build a fire? Like, I'm assuming, I guess, my my thought is under the assumption that they wouldn't stay there. That they would at least be intelligent enough to realize they'd have to move out of wherever they are. Now, but that's debate. Like this time of year, like
I'd hold the
that
fort
would
down. I'd stay in my house.
well, like this time of year, especially, that would probably be a poor decision, right? If let's say you had an apartment, um, and it would probably not be wise to walk out into the woods right now when it's 20 degrees outside, especially if you have zero survival skills whatsoever and kids. You,
I,
you
I
might
guess
you
it's
might be
all
better off hunkering down, like you said.
it's all dependent on what brought everything down. If it's an outside force, I
Right.
don't know. You know,
Well, and like has the
I'm gonna
government
play that shit
completely
by ear.
has the government completely collapsed? If not, I mean, they would rally the National Guard and try to, I guess,
let's
feed
be very,
people.
very let's be very, very honest right now. That government really ain't worth the fuck right now. So collapse probably ain't too far. You know what I mean?
Well, I would say this though. I think that
The government's really good at running itself.
I honestly think the fragility of our government is something that's played up by the media a little bit. Like, obviously, we got a lot of shit to work out, but there's still like we're not in an energy crisis. We're not in a food crisis. Um, there are a lot of countries out there, Russia, China, that are in much worse shape than we are. Like if we shut off, like, I mean, I think like China like imports like 90% of their food or something stupid. Like if people just decided they were going to stop sending food to China, like they would experience a famine and it would just decimate their population. Like
So
um people
one
are a lot more reliant, as much as we're in debt like monetarily to a lot of it, like to China, like a lot of other countries are way more reliant on us for the things that actually sustain life than we are on them.
one thing I heard the other day, I was watching or listening to Rogan. You had two guys on there talking about this, and like look at our debt. You know what I mean? We're trillions, like we're just pissed and we
But
burn
that's
the fucking
monopoly
money.
money. That's monopoly money. It's not even real. That's
That's a
monopoly money, man.
ton of fucking money to be in debt, though. Is it
Yeah.
not?
But it's not even real. I said it's monopoly money. It's not even
Right,
like
but when they want it from you, is it fucking
no,
real?
but China does not, as much as people believe, China does not have the ability to call us on it. China could not come knocking on our door tomorrow and collect that debt and say, "Pay us right now, or shit's gonna hit the fan." Like they don't have we like I said, the media wants to stir shit up a bunch, man. But like China does not have the clout that people believe they have. Like I said, they are much more reliant on us for their survival than we are on them. Like if if we cut them off tomorrow, like, if they that's the reason they don't invade the Philippines, or
Well,
not the Philippines, but, Taiwan. If they invade Taiwan, we're gonna impose sanctions, and China's fucked at that point. Like, they know that. Um
I'm not even. You're talking more like World War. I'm
no, but
talking
I'm
like
saying in general, but, like, we owe
end of the
China, yeah,
world
we're
kind
in
of
a lot
shit.
of monetary debt to China. What I'm saying is it's monopoly money, man. Like, China cannot call us on that debt. They can't come knock on
Isn't
the
it
door and
still called
collect
Chinese
tomorrow.
Taipei? Isn't it Chinese Taipei, or is it
No.
really Taiwan?
I'm saying, like, it's Taiwan. Yeah, it's Taiwan.
Yeah.
I was wrong when I said the Philippines. But, like, yeah, China could not, like I said, they couldn't come knock on the door tomorrow and say, "Pay us or we're gonna fuck you up." We would just
No,
say,
what I'm
"Come on
saying
with it."
is, like right now they force feed us global warming. Well, I don't
It's
necessarily
not
think the world getting warmer would be like a crazy issue. An ice age, I think, is something we would not. I don't think we'd survive very well. You know what I mean? We're not accustomed to it.
no, and I think that
As a
I almost think
species,
that
we've changed.
what's funny is, um, the the people who are climate gurus, they act like we don't respect the environment because we're not acknowledging, they think we're ignoring global warming. But in reality, I almost feel like they're the ones that don't respect the environment or the earth, because I'm telling you right now, like, if they're arrogant enough to believe that the shit that we're doing is actually impacting the climate, like, this world has existed for millions of years. And if you think here in this last 100 years that we have done things that have all of a sudden severely, like, just compromised the climate, like, how arrogant can you be? Like, this rock that's flying through space has been here for a long fucking time. It has
Right. And
sustained life of it's
at some
sustained
point in time,
life of
she's
many
gonna get
times.
pissed.
Like,
She's
it
gonna
is
get pissed at some point in
sure.
time,
Well,
right?
I'm just saying,
And
we
there's
don't have
nothing we are gonna do about it.
no, there's nothing we can do to start it, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. Like, it's just gonna happen how it happens. Like, we can't trip the trigger, we can't hit the brakes. Like, and to think that we have any goddamn control over what this planet is going to do is stupid. Now, is it
No,
like
but
healthy?
you don't
Now
think
you could say,
there's small things that everybody probably could
well,
do
now
that would
you
at
could
least
say, now
help.
I'll get behind this. Now, if you want to argue that it's detrimental to people's health to have like smog and emissions in the air like that we had back in the Industrial Revolution, sure. Like No doubt about that. It's
What do
not
you mean?
good.
The
It's not good to
they
walk
still
around
have
breathing
it.
in. I'm saying it's not good to walk around breathing in smoke and shit like that. I mean, sure. I mean, but as far as if it's really impacting the climate in a detrimental way, like, because this,
You don't
and I'm
look
not
like
trying
no
to go down
fucking
the. I'm telling you,
scientist.
I'm not trying to go down the rabbit hole, but I'm telling you right now, like the technology and the industrial revolution that we had in the early 1900s, like that's not the first time that this world has had that type of technology. Like way like those pyramids weren't built by people dragging rocks on fucking rollers. Like not a
Right, but they
chance.
weren't pulled by diesel-powered engines, I don't believe either.
No,
Later on, right?
I think it was some sort of technology that was way far more advanced than that, to be
Tell
honest.
me, what was it?
I don't know. But have
Give me
you
your
seen
guess. Give me
no,
a
have you
guess. I
seen the
want a
stuff that they
hypothesis.
so listen, they talk about like they have these core samples that were taken like, a cylindrical
I
like
listen to the
plug.
same fucking thing you
Yeah.
listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They said like we don't even have the technology they could do
do
that
it now.
today.
Yeah,
Not with the precision that it does that with.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm telling you, this isn't the first time that this sort of technology has existed. And yeah, sure. Like back then, obviously something happened, like a cataclysmic event happened that ended civilization as we knew it then, and it had to restart, right? Um, but what that was, nobody fucking knows. But I guarantee you it didn't have anything to do with global warming.
No, it was an ice age. That's what I'm saying. That's
And it probably wasn't triggered by a goddamn thing that anybody actually did.
not back. No, it was just time for it to happen.
Yeah.
Something happened. You
The
know,
earth is a living thing,
yeah,
right?
it's gonna change
And
itself.
it's yeah, it's going to do what it does. And there's I just think it's almost arrogant to believe that we have any sort of control over that at all. And now
Yeah,
like
I
I
mean,
said,
it's
if
not
you want to,
great to just shit on it, though. I mean,
but no,
it's
I like I said, I don't think it's bad to say like we need to like go about things in a certain way in terms of like
you ever see some of those rivers?
our
You
own
ever seen some of
personal
those
health.
rivers and shit, like in India, Africa, where it's like they're out there bathing kids, and there's just fucking piles of trash
Yeah, sure.
floating down
But
the
some
river.
of that
That's
stuff,
not
yeah, sure.
good.
Right, yeah. But
No, not
that's
yeah,
not global
sure.
no, that's not global warming. That's fucking common sense. That's people that lack common
Well,
sense, that are fucking lazy, and they're disgusting. Like, that doesn't have dick to do with global warming or climate change. Like,
those are things that will lead to something else, though. I mean,
oh, yeah, because of course, yeah, you start pouring garbage into waterways, like,
most of the
you're gonna
protein we take in the
kill
world
ecosystems.
is
Sure,
fish. Like,
yeah.
I bet
But
70% of the world,
that
that's their
is going
main source of
but
protein.
my thing is that's going to affect us as a species more than it's gonna affect
Do you think it affects
the
those
Earth,
fucking fish?
which it then in
They
turn
play a
affects
very vital
us.
part.
Right, that's what I'm saying, which in turn
Yeah,
affects us as a species because you're eliminating a food source or eliminating some species
right.
that
But who
cultivates something
puts
else
those
that we
fish back? Nobody.
right. But that's what
If we
I guess
starve,
I guess I'm thinking of, like, the things that we need personally as humans to sustain life. I'm thinking of that separately from, what? I'm thinking of that separately from, like, climate-wise.
I'm done
You know
talking
what
to
I
you.
mean?
Let Rick sit down. I'm done talking to you.
I'm
Let
saying
Rick sit
I
down.
think of it separately,
Give
though,
him the
from
headphones.
from the climate, from, like, the temperature of the Earth and an ice age. Like, th I don't think they're and maybe I'm being too short-sighted and thinking that they're not connected. I mean, they're
No,
both
but
bad, but I'm saying
we're
one we
I'm not
have
saying
well,
I ain't even saying global warming. I'm just saying the effects we're having on the place we're living that takes really good care of us. Why wouldn't we try to at least do some things to maybe not fuck it up so much?
that's a great question. I don't have the answer to that. I don't. I don't know why
I
people
mean,
don't.
would you eat anything out of the Illinois River?
I mean, if I had a choice, no, but if I was in a pinch, I
Why?
would.
Why not?
Just because the river appears to be disgusting. But
What's in it?
if I was I mean, I just God knows what's in it. I
Poor
don't know.
choices. You know what I mean?
But I'm
That's what I'm
saying if I
saying.
was
There's
hungry, I
probably a
would.
better way to
Like,
process some of that stuff.
I'm saying, but if I was hungry, I would. I imagine I would be just fine if I did eat something out of it, but if I had a choice, I would probably choose not to. Like, I don't know that it
You
necessarily.
think you would be fine, or you know you'd be fine?
I would say, it's probably 80% chance that it wouldn't harm me,
Okay.
which if I was in a pinch, like I
But
said,
it
if I was
should
in a
be
pinch,
100% chance, right? It's
oh, fuck,
fresh
I don't
water.
what name something that there's a 100% chance that it's not gonna harm you, you
Cocaine.
know? Yeah, right.
Not adversely anyway.
Yeah. No, old Rickster's peeking around the corner like, "What do you want?" He's like, "I'm just listening." Like,
Let him get in. Fuck. Scoot that chair over. His phone must be dead. He can't watch.
"That's not." You be chiming in. Uh, but I really do think I think there's a difference between climate change and global warming, and that's the bad part is that when you say global warming, it's like a fucking hot button topic. Um, Now climate change are the things that humans do that like impact the climate that are detrimental? Sure, like what you're talking about, like littering, um,
Getting
things
rid of
like
the
that.
entire ecosystem, I think, changes something. Do I know exactly what it is? No. Or what the
No,
impact
well,
is?
and
No.
there
But
is. There's a domino effect, a butterfly effect, whatever you wanna call it, where, like, it affects things down the line, but,
if you're
um
wiping out an entire species of fish or, something else, that definitely affects the chain. You know what I mean? Everything
Sure.
kind of feeds off itself. That's what makes this place so beautiful most of the time, right?
Yeah,
Because it
well,
knows how to heal itself and do
yes,
everything else. And when you
absolutely.
remove parts of it, it probably
Well,
doesn't know how to fix that
and
necessarily.
that's another one of those things that sucks is because the whole concept of climate change has been politicized, right? To the extent that if you say anything in favor of climate change, that the other side automatically assumes that you're some sort of tree hugging hippie, right?
Well, big thing right
And
now,
like,
electric cars and all that shit. You seen those mines that they dig
yeah,
cobalt
not.
and shit out
I
of?
tell you
It's
what,
like,
I'm more on board, man. With I don't think that it's sustainable. I don't think that electric cars are sustainable.
no, fuck you. Go back to walking. You're gonna have to
No,
work
yeah.
within
I
5
know.
miles of your house.
I'm not sure that. I don't know
You're gonna have to
how.
see if Lacan Lanes has a managerial position open.
I don't know how sustainable fossil fuels are, but I can tell you right now, I really don't have a lot of faith that the EV kick has any longevity to
You
it.
can run cars on weed and corn. There just ain't as much money in it as there is in oil. That's the only, I mean, let's be honest. That weed and corn will push your car down the road. They
Weed
just don't wanna
and
do it.
corn?
Yeah, they
Oh,
make
I'm sure. Yeah,
biofuel out
yeah,
of all
sure.
sorts of things,
Well, no, for sure. I think there are probably alternative
but
methods
it doesn't
to.
sell for $80 a barrel or
Right.
$180 a barrel, it
Yeah.
sells for 30. So,
Well,
it
and
cuts my profits in half.
that's the reason why, like, Bob Lazar, right? That dude and that whole deal with that element that he believes that aliens are
Element
using
115,
to
yeah,
manipulate gravity. Like, it's like, goddamn, if we could take that technology and harness it, like, we would come to the point where we were not relying on fossil fuels at all,
but
which
they
would
don't want you to do that.
change the course of humanity.
Right. OPEC
But
don't want that.
exactly, man, like, the fucking power brokers that have control of
Why has
oil
everybody
and
on Epstein's list not been out? Because it affects a
right,
lot of people. It's the same shit, like,
yeah, and so, I
over and
mean,
over and
as
over.
as terrible as that is, and as much as I don't agree with any of it, it's almost easier just to kinda wander through life blissfully ignorant and ignoring it to some degree because you'll drive yourself crazy thinking about all that shit, and, I think it's just simpler to live your life and try to enjoy it and, not consume yourself with, I guess, the corruption that exists because you can't do anything about it. You and me aren't changing it, and maybe that's what they're counting on is that none of us are willing to believe we have the ability to change it, and individually we don't, but our country's so divided that we never get enough people on the same page to do anything about it, so I just say we, do our own thing and get through this and move on.
Just die. Pay taxes and die.
Pay taxes and die, man, it's the American dream.
Touche.
Speaking of American Dream, not
Dusty
Dusty
Rhodes.
Rhodes, but what are your thoughts on this young police woman who let herself be
So
used like an amusement park by members of the force?
so this morning while I'm watching the news, the unfortunate events that took place in Memphis, I just see a screen of 5 African American police officers, and I think they're getting ready to talk about them banging out that
Right?
fellow police officer, office woman, I don't know,
Orifice, police orifice.
and I get into it, I'm like, oh shit, something else happened. No, I don't know. I would imagine her husband's not real crazy about it. Didn't look like he was into it. He wasn't getting cucked in this deal, so
So let me ask you a question, okay? So we had what were now I guess this was a mixed race crew that was performing these acts, right?
4
There
out of
were
5, yeah.
because I mean,
When I see the
was there
5,
one white?
one white guy, yeah,
There was like a Mexican or some sort of brown Latino,
Latino, yeah,
maybe,
that'd
and
be a
then
good
with
word for it.
three black guys. Is that what it
I believe
was?
so. I'm not
I
positive. I
know
don't
there
know.
was one
I haven't
big
done much
black guy,
research
and
on
his
TikTok.
last name was Powell too. I'm pretty sure, like
Yeah,
big old brother.
Roger, was it Roger
But
Powell?
I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, because in my mind, it's just it's a group of black guys that have been running a train on this white chick,
Were
and
they
no,
ever all together in one spot? I need to
I
know.
don't think so. I don't know. I
No.
guess, but like, no one's up in arms about it, right? No one's like out there like this poor woman. You know what I'm saying? But imagine it was the other way around.
I'm not sure if people would be up in arms about it.
You don't think so? People are like,
If they
oh,
were
she was.
willing participants, why would you? To be honest,
Did
if
you
she was, why is it a big deal?
did you hear about the LSU scandal
No, I have no
where
clue.
there
Let's
was
hear it.
their star wide receiver, the wide receiver coach, and like a GA, a grad assistant, ran a train on um like a fucking tutor or something, like a team tutor or academic
Yeah,
advisor or whatever she was
but she was into
at
it.
the SEC, like in Atlanta when they were at the SEC championship game.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter where it happened.
she was a willing
Willing part,
participant. Yeah, it wasn't like
not
there was
non-issue.
yeah.
Next question.
It's like
Seriously, if everybody's into it and no one's, it wasn't against anybody's will, none of your
yeah,
fucking
why is it a
business.
thing? I would agree with that. Yeah, why?
How did it even
Why?
come out? That's what I want to know. Which one of you bitches is talking?
Yeah, that's a good question. I never heard what the source was. Did
We
not.
got much bigger shit in this world to be worried about than who's fucking who. As long as it's consensual. Other than that, next question. You know what I
Next
mean?
question.
Like, fuck.
So another thing that I was thinking about that I was curious about your opinion on is, have you seen these videos on TikTok or wherever when these people are going to public places and doing these constitution audits?
I have not.
No? Oh, my dad watches
Not
them all the
one.
time. So it's like someone will walk into like a police station or a courthouse or somewhere and they get their video and they just go in and walk around like in the lobby. And eventually someone comes up and is like, "Can I help you? What are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm just doing a story. I know my rights.
Yes,
I have a
yes.
right to be here."
I seen some guy
Those
the other
people.
day. I was at a courthouse.
Yeah, and they're like, "I have a right to," and it's like,
Yeah.
why while I understand that there are probably some things that, some areas where people's rights are being violated. Those people, you're just looking for a fight. That's all you're doing. You're showing up and trying to pick a fight. Like, because how common.
With the chubby bailiff at the fucking
Yeah, like, because how common is it? Like, it's not like it's a common occurrence to stand in the parking lot of a police station and walk around with your camera. of course someone's going to come out and say, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, do you need something? This is public property. I have a right to be here." And I'm like, and they just try to pick a fight with these people. And it's like, why? It's so stupid because,
Just
I just don't. I mean, obviously, I guess you could say, well, for views or clicks or whatever, but
and
it's just so ignorant.
you give them what they wanted, right?
I
I
don't.
mean, they're trying to be a sensation, obviously. I
Well,
mean,
it seems like a pretty popular thing that people do.
to be honest, most of the time I don't fucking necessarily enjoy what the police do. But some of these people, you see videos and it's like, you got your fucking ass beat. Well, you got your ass beat because 2 or 3 of them told you to do something. Just fucking do it.
Right.
You're not
I
gonna
mean,
win.
I can get more behind the
Ron,
people that get pulled over and that record themselves and that try to, like, I guess make sure their rights are being acknowledged. Like, I get more behind that because you weren't looking for it, right?
right.
In most
You
cases.
came to me. Yes.
And so then you're just documenting it. But these people that literally go looking for trouble, basically, I don't like that.
Ron White said a long time ago, his ass is getting ready to get thrown out of a bar and 5 cops show up. He's like, I'm not sure how many of them it's going to take to whip my ass, but I know how many they're going to use. So
Right?
once you're in that fucking situation, give it to them. Fuck it. Fight them. Fight them in court. Don't fight them right there. 'Cause shit does not turn out great.
No, and really, like, 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, you lay your hand on a law enforcement
You're getting your
person, like,
fucking ass
it's
beat by
game over.
everybody on site.
Yeah, they coulda gave you every they coulda called you every racial slur in the book and whatever leading up to that moment, but the minute you lay
Just
a
take
hand,
it. Fuck.
like, the minute you lay a hand on one of those guys, like, you've pretty much sealed your fate.
Yeah, they're all gonna beat the fuck out of you. You reach for anything, your ass getting shot, tased, pepper sprayed, the whole bit.
No, I would agree. It's not a wise choice at all.
That's,
But,
I mean, like I said, they do a lot of dirty shit. And to be honest, the majority of them are probably fucking great people. They're normal, just like everybody else. The majority of people are normal. It's a handful. They give everybody else a bad name.
oh, for sure. I mean, it's like, yeah, you said, like anything else. Um, I mean, like the police force for sure. Like, and especially now, like nobody wants to be a fucking cop, man. Like, why would you want to be a cop? Like, you're always the bad guy now.
I'd do any fucking thing else right now.
It's almost like being a fucking teacher. It's a thankless job. The only time anybody ever talks about what you're doing is if you do something that people
It's
don't
fucked
fucking
up.
like.
Yeah.
And like, and cops are worse because the vast majority of your time you're dealing with dirt bags.
To be honest, either one of those jobs, if I was in them though, I wouldn't want my name ever to come up, good or bad.
Right.
I just fucking middle of the road, do my piece, and be out.
Did you hear the story about the 6-year-old that shot his teacher?
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you heard like the follow up with what her attorneys said?
Yeah, his fucking parents are
Well, yeah.
obviously
Well, so like
don't have any fucking brains in
herself,
their head.
she went to the administration and said, "Hey, there were some grumblings saying this kid brought a weapon to school." They blew her off. There was like 2 other teachers that went up and had heard the same thing that went up to the administration. They blew her off. The kid went out for recess, apparently showed someone else the gun,
Yeah.
and the student reported it. They still did nothing, and then the kid ended up ultimately shooting the teacher. And I guess like after the recess thing when it was brought
in the
up,
world we live in, anybody that was ever told that story should be held accountable for what
right,
happened to that lady.
and uh, I mean, thank God she didn't die from it, but
Who the fuck wants to get shot
no,
anyway?
sure, yeah, fuck no,
For
like,
nothing. You know what I
but
mean?
apparently, like the time at recess when they said like he took it out of his pocket and showed somebody, the administration said but he's got such small pockets. Like, that was, like, their reason for, like and I was talking about to somebody at work about it today. I said, "I guarantee you, all they were thinking about is what happens if we search this kid and he doesn't have anything, and then we're gonna be under the fucking gun for searching
You're
him without reason or
no,
whatever." I
there's
mean, you
definite
fucking
reason. You're
didn't.
on my
Oh,
property. You
I
can
agree.
search
When I
anybody
said that, I think that the minute you step on public property, whether it's a school, a courthouse, wherever,
anywhere.
like, there's no such thing as private property. Like, whatever
Right.
is on your person, in your
It's
possession,
my property
is free
if it ain't
game
supposed to
to
be
be
here.
searched or
Yeah.
whatever. And, uh, I mean, I'm like, "Holy shit," when I heard all this. I'm like, "These people are fucked." But, like, it's a product of the way the system is, man. Like, it's yeah, sure, it's these people's direct fault, but, like, they are behaving, the administration, the way they are because of where society has moved us. They are terrified. They're scared to death of crazy parents who don't wanna hold their own kids accountable, so they're gonna sit there and say, like you said, let's say that they did search this kid and he didn't have a weapon.
The parents of the child that shot that teacher don't hold their child accountable. Because
Oh, obviously not. No.
one, they were able to get that gun in their fucking hand and leave the house with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, two, you've obviously never taught that child how to handle that gun properly and what the fuck it's
Or
used
manage
for.
his emotions at all if he thought it was acceptable that when he was upset and didn't like someone, he could shoot them. Like, right? I mean, the list is a long. It's long, 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 and the amount of people that made a mistake here, uh, is vast. I mean, it's sad, man. Like, the way that I think administrators and teachers even have to change their behavior because the way that we've allowed society to react to people holding their kids accountable. Like we said about police officers. Yes, there's some bad apples. There's some bad teachers that are shitty and treat your kids like shit. But there's a lot of really good fucking teachers that hold your kids accountable and try to make them better people. And you got to let them fucking do that, man. You
So
got
what
to
I
let them
think
do
you're
it.
saying is a couple weeks ago we brought up one specific teacher. If she was target practice, fuck, I wouldn't even got out of the way for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Now, and that's right. Yeah, she was
what a
a
shitty job to get shot at, though. Being a teacher.
oh, no shit.
Fuck, you're there to help those kids, and one puts one in your guts. Kindergarten. I don't. I would never want to die at work. Let's be honest.
Well, what okay, so speaking of that then, what do you think would be
Die
some of
anywhere else.
the shittiest jobs to have where, like, you would risk that and it wouldn't be worth it? Like like,
Probably
corrections
number
officer,
one. No, I would say a teacher be number one. That's not even a place you should even really think about it happening.
expect that you would experience violence. Um, I mean,
Like,
I would think I would never wanna be a corrections officer despite the violence you might experience, just the shit you'd have to see on the regular, man, like, I think that
yeah,
you would
but you have
lose.
the upper hand 9 out of 10
Yeah,
times.
but I think that you would just lose, like, it's one of those jobs that would make you hard, man, you know what I mean? It would
Yeah,
harden
you would
you and
lose a
make
lot
you
of empathy for people for
you just
sure.
yeah, you'd lose a lot of faith in humanity.
You just
Um,
see the shit.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
uh,
So
I don't think I could, um, I'd wanna do, the like, what my wife does, man, work in an ICU and stuff where there's just people who are in critical condition that are dying and everything else, like I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess, like, sure, like, you're gonna save some too, right? But
is that not very similar to a teacher?
it is
And
just
not
maybe on a little higher level, maybe, like, a more
higher level, but the risk reward thing. There's gonna
yeah,
be a couple you're gonna
similar,
save. You know what I mean?
yeah, and
And
it's one
that's
of
the
those jobs
payoff.
where a lot of the time you're gonna feel pretty good about what you're doing, but there's gonna be times where you're like, "What the fuck am I putting myself through this for?"
Right.
'Cause you're gonna have people that just don't fucking appreciate it. Um, no, 100%, man, like And just like, I mean, I tell you what, man, just in the few months that she's been there and the stories that she's told me about stuff she's dealt with, and not even just like pieces, these are just, they're not even bad people, just experiences. I'm like, fucking A, man. Like, I don't know how we don't have healthcare workers that deal with PTSD. We talk about people that have been in combat. Like some of the things that
Oh, you
she's
know
told
they
me,
do.
I'm saying some of the things that she's told me she's seen, I'm like, fuck. I mean, I got to give her credit, man. Like she's a lot tougher than I thought she was. Like the fact that, I mean, because I'm telling you, if I would have fucking seen some of this shit, it fucked me up. Like I would be, it would bother me. Like, and the fact that she's able to walk around and just like, well, you know, we
Not
did
an
our best.
issue.
We did our best, on to the next type of thing. It's like, fucking A,
Well,
man. Like,
most
and you
jobs, I
probably
think, once
have to,
people are in
probably
there,
have to be wired that way to do that job, though. You
yeah,
know, I mean, that's just
you can't get caught up on everything.
well, no, because it impacts your ability to do your job well in that setting. And that, I mean, but truthfully, though, the same you could say the same about, um, you know, soldiers that are in combat. Like you know, they can't get caught up in it because it would cloud their ability
Risk
to
your
do their
life.
job.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, or police officers. I mean, there's probably a pretty decent list of professions that we could include in that. But I mean, just it's wild, you know, hearing some of the stories. You know, I mean, and not even the ones that are bad stories that are like death related, but even just like the ones where she, you know, she's like, hey, like, you know, I had this doctor that let me hang out while he drilled a hole in a lady's head to like relieve a brain hemorrhage. And it's like, you know, explained like the way he cuts through the different layers of someone's scalp and their skull and how you know when you're so far and all this shit. And I was just like, and that's not traumatizing per se, but it's just like the fact that that's just like happening on the fucking
That's your
regular.
everyday.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
That's your missing box.
you know, I'm like, good God. Like, I mean, it's just wow, you know, to think about that. And I gotta imagine, you know, people in what she does, my wife doesn't, but like people in healthcare, you know, if I imagine there's a lot of people in healthcare who drink heavily, and I completely understand if they do and why they
Yeah,
would.
why wouldn't you?
I mean, goodness,
Sounds amazing.
but I don't know. What do you think, man? You want to wrap this thing up?
I think it's time.
It's time.
I don't know who
Who
to
we
fuck.
fucking?
I don't know who to
Oh,
fuck.
let's see. God, I'm trying to remember all the things we've talked about, all the people. We've covered a lot, a wide range.
That's good. I get a good
Topics.
one for tomorrow. You ready to do this? I know who
Yep.
to fuck.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. All three of you. Here's to those that wish us well. All the rest can go to hell. Good night, everybody. Fuck you, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, fuck you, Patty, and your brother and your ugly wife.
Joe Burrow, come to town.
Hell yes. 3-0 against the Bengals.
Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
It'll be 4 after this weekend.
I fucking hope so, man. I fucking hope so.
I won't deny it. I'm a straight rider.
Spoiler alert.
But they can't do nothing to a G.
Wow, it's very nice.